Hi guys, so welcome to video 6. In this video I'll be showing you how you can use DEM data through QGIS and then into Tyflow terrain. This project I'll be using DEM data from New Zealand, as this is the project I'm currently working on, but you can incorporate any data from anywhere in the world that you can get your hands on. So from there we will just get started. Okay, so we just want to start with a new QGIS project, and with that you can just go to where your DEM image is located, and you can just drag and drop that in. Great, so we can drag and drop it in and you will see it pop up there. So there we go. You can see there's a little bit of contours, quite a lot of contours. This is quite a hilly part of New Zealand that we're looking at on the north coast. So depending on where you're looking at, it will range, but here there's quite a few contours. It is quite a large scale as well, but the good thing about 3ds Max is it allows you to do that. So now we can start to export it into 3ds Max. As part of the project I was working on, this was actually one tile of quite a few. We were covering a very large span of New Zealand. So we didn't really need to zoom in and select an area, but how I learnt this process, and I'll share it with you, is that you can. If you zoom in and you prefer, say, this area, we can do that, although you will have to adjust the scale if you'd like, just to make the very tops as white, and then try and get as much black into the highest part. So you can play around with the scale because of this. Probably just changing the minimum height more than anything. We'll try about 300. There you go. You can see it's gotten a little bit darker in those parts. Sometimes this might be a little bit of trial and error. So you can just keep having a little look. And there we go. Yeah, we'll go with 300. Perfect. You can just press OK. And there you go. You can see the very white and then the very black. Great. So then to export, you just want to go Project, Export, Export Map to Image. And you can play around with the resolution here and the other outputs if you would like. Just holding onto the scale as well. You can see it's pretty big. We can keep the outputs the same, but I would recommend increasing the DPI to about 300. And then copying the scale. This is a little helpful tip I learnt that we can use later, or I'd even recommend taking a photo of it, something like that. So you can use it in 3ds Max, considering the scale is so big. So then there you go, you can then just save it wherever you'll be able to find it. So I'm just gonna pop it back in here, and you can call it anything you'd like. For now we're just testing how it's going to work in 3ds Max. Okay, so now that we have saved this, we can just jump into 3ds Max, and we'll be using this as a material. So if you just click M, you go into your material editor, and then we'll just find that file again, and we can drop that straight in. There we go, and you'll see it there. Great. Okay, now that we've added it in, we've got to add in the Tyflow. So we can get rid of this, Tyflow, and pop that in. There we go. Okay, and now we can just go to Modify, Open Editor, and we're going to use the coding panel now to use the material. So you can simply go on over to Birth Terrain, chuck that in. Great. You can see something happening on the screen here for us now, just here. Great, now that we've got that in, we are going to go ahead and add in text map to terrain, so just drag that in there. Perfect. And then you can see it doesn't have a texture, so we've just got to bring back our material panel. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. And then from there, we can just grab this. Sorry. And we can drag that over to the map. And then we want to just press OK on instance. And then there you can go, it's started to read. You can see. Okay, so now that we can start to see something happening, we actually want to go back and change the scale. Back to the scale we got from QGIS. So if you've taken a photo, you remember that. We'll just head back up here to scale. And we can type that in. Great. We then just want to go back to the text map terrain. And then basically adjusting this to the height between here. It is a little bit of an awkward number, so I've gone ahead and used a calculator to calculate the difference between the top and the bottom. We can go back, and that is 1176. Great. And then you'll see here, you start to see the terrain pop up through the middle. And there you go, that is how you can get accurate scaled terrain from QGIS to 3ds Max using Tyflow terrain. Thank you for listening.